Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Me, Fuzzball40. Like I always say to you, if you're new around here, subscribe down below, click the like button, and comment down below anything you want to comment, even if it's you've got a really deep voice, Fuzzball40. Again, I want to say thank you for all the support recently. It's been incredible. A couple of videos went live yesterday. We're back nearly 100 subs in a day, pushing on to 2K subscribers now, which is amazing. But this is an icon trading video. You've all been asking me for an icon trading video for a long while now. In stream, everyone comes in, how do I icon trade? And so I thought I'd bring it out and explain to you that, number one, contrary to what some traders and YouTubers say to you, icon sniping is not icon trading, in my opinion anyway. It's not. Sitting and waiting on the market for something to come up and snipe it. I never consider sniping full stop to be trading, if that makes sense. I know I bring out sniping filter videos, but they're more, again, flipping filters. They're not really sniping filters. You haven't got to sit there for ages. I give you all the ones you can just sort of make your way under the silvers. But sniping is an effective method to make more coins. Do I think it's trading? No, because it doesn't really require any sort of thought process. It's just, what's the cheapest on the market? Let me try and get one cheaper. Icon trading requires a lot more than that. So the first thing I'm going to tell you right away is there are tons of icons on this game. Way too many icons in this game for you to remember all their price. Now, you can say, oh, I've got a database, and I'll set up a database with icons on it, and I list all their prices and whatnot, which is a good idea. Do that. Set a database up. But I would say to you, get a pool of icons that you look at. So maybe 10 to 15 icons that you trade with. Even less than that to start with. To start with, I'd have maybe 5 icons that you trade with and monitor their prices. And I always say this to you guys, when you do special card trading, when you do any sort of trading, monitor before you do anything, check what they sell for. Now, icons like special cards, like gold cards, like silver cards, they change in price all the time. From morning to evening, they change in price. For overnight, they change in price, and from during the week, from Monday to Friday to Saturday, Sunday, they change in price. As a basic rule of thumb, what I have found with the icons I trade with is overnight is their high point, morning up to 1 o'clock is usually a low point, and then they sort of steadily rise to the night, come back down again, steadily rise to the night, come back down again, and that's how I tend to trade. One thing that you need to be mindful of is things like promos and random content that EA drop will affect icon prices. Icon trading is a high risk method. It's not a method for people who don't really know what they're doing. Be mindful of that, because I'll give you an example. Last week, those of you who watch me on stream know that I trade with and was using Overmars mid card, and I picked him up for 310k, I think it was, and I used him for a few days, and then he shot up to 400k, and I sold there and then because I knew full well Team of the Year was coming, and then he dropped off massively. I'll show you now where he dropped off to in and around. If I show you my desktop, this is his monthly trading trading level. He was up at like 429. When I picked him up here, he was I got a very good deal on him. Maybe it's better than that actually. It was probably the week before. I got an incredible deal. I bid on him, got him to 310. No one was on the market first thing in the morning UK time, and then he plummeted. I sold him here about 400k just before going to weekend league, because that's usually when they're most expensive. People buy them for weekend league. Although Friday mornings tend to be a bit weird. Friday mornings tends to be a time that's not too bad to buy. But then sort of Thursday and just after Friday morning, they're up. They're usually up. Friday morning seems to be an anomaly. Recently, it's tended not to be a time to buy. It tends to be a time to sell. But anyway, after that weekend league, he plummeted off to 305k. And he's steadily climbing back again now. Like, he's back up again now. And if you look at him on the market now, he is about 369. I think I just saw him a minute ago. Yeah, 369. Now, I know over the weekend, just gone, he was at about 390, okay? And I know that price because I watch him. What I will do today, for example, is I'll go, okay, cool, it's Tuesday. Let me go into the market, get one of them, add into my transfer targets and see if anything comes up lower than that, basically, and I might want to pick him up. But right now, 369 is about right. Now, I'm going to tell you the icons that I like trading with, and there's a reason why I like these icons. I'll explain to you afterwards. But I like Nedved, I like Overmars, I like Carlos Alberto, I like Cannavaro, and I like Zambrotta. The reason I like these cards is they're relatively meta while still being relatively affordable. One rule of thumb that I have is I do not trade with prime cards full stop capital letter. The prime market is volatile, it's changing all the time, price ranges are being updated and whatever. And if a promo gets dropped or anything happens, you stand to lose a lot of coins if the players crash in price. So I don't touch prime icons. I leave that to the big guys. I want to go and do what they're doing. That's down to them. I ain't my bag. I like mid icons because the price is relatively consistent, and for you guys that haven't got many coins, lower level icons are consistent. So what the best thing I start by doing is just going to icons initially as a sort of filter. We went past it. And have a look at prices. And getting a feel for the players that you saw when we were trading with. So this while was a lot more. Obviously, it's dropped off. But what you can do is just go onto them, just compare price. Just have a little look at them. Just see what they're selling for. So this guy now is about to end. There's one for 415. He's not good value to 420. But it gives you an idea of the prices and whatnot. And you then start choosing players that you like trading with. You have to pick one or two, I think, to start with. That gives you your idea of thinking, okay, cool, actually, I want to start trading with this icon, that icon. These are icons that I like the look of. And once you make your first sell, second sell, that's when you start to realise, right, these are good icons, these are not good icons. I promise you, you're going to make mistakes, it's going to happen. It's completely fine. But once you've got an idea of the icons that you've got, I would spend the first few days, week maybe, monitoring their price at different times. So let's say theoretically you decide you're going to go for that Raul card is going to be the guy you're going to go for, right? So Raul here, 88 card. You know, on the market, have a little look and say, okay, cool, one 419, 417 there, 415. I'm going to watch that 415 with a hunter on him, so I know what he sells for a hunter on him. I might watch the 419 as well now. And I get an idea of price, so I'm going to say this is what happens. So now, what also you can use, most important thing, use Footbin. Now, be mindful with Footbin and be very, very mindful with Footbin that it gives you an average price. It doesn't give you the set prices they're selling for. But if you're not sure, Footbin's always a good guide, because what you can do, when you first start doing this sort of like a style of trading, is go down, once this has to load, 500 meg internet, but you wouldn't know it, thanks Virgin Media. I usually base it upon a month. I'll go on a month basically, I'll look at what they're selling for the last month, and get an idea. He's obviously come down, become part of icon swaps, he's plummeted down, gone down, 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 down. And he's around the 400 mark-ish. So these ones on the market, for me, probably too expensive right now. You know, hourly, you can look at today, what's his price done so far today? He's been down as low as 400, got up to 425, down as low as 399. This is yesterday, no, it's today, up to 425, and then he sort of stays stagnant there. It just gives you an idea, and you need to get to know the prices of these icons before you start getting involved in them. What I'll show you now, more than anything, is the way that I would look at it, the way that I look at these players. So now, I know, for example, that mid-Overmars sells for 400 at peak in Weekend League, alright? 400 without fail. So if I go to mid-Overmars now and I see one for 369, that 369 one I think is sold. I think he's sold. So let's say the next one on the market now is this 370, I didn't transfer targets. Now, if I know he sells for 400k, I've got to allow for EA tax. So that's 5%, right? So realistically, if I can sell for 400k, it means I take 20,000 coins off of him, 380. So that 370 could be profitable. The 369, if he's gone, I believe he has gone. Pretty sure he's gone. The 369 has sold, right? So I now know that on a Tuesday around this time, he sells for 369. And I then start to get a thought in my head. So I write it down. I write down like Overmars, for example. And I write down 369 for his 88. I put it to my database afterwards. And I go, okay, cool. Middle of the day, that's what he sold for. Which is decent. So I now know. Let's say, for example, I pick one up today, this morning for 320. And I think, actually, I want the profit now. I can sell him. I know I can sell him at the middle of the day for 370. And I get an idea of that. And that's one player that I use. Nedved's another player that I use for that. Other players and stuff that I use for that. Things to think about. If that 369 hadn't sold and it'd been relisted, there's a chance that it would have come back on again with an undercut. And that's where you make your big bank, in my opinion. On icon trading, you make your big bank. Apologies for the dog decided to bark, as always. You make your big bank on icon trading from when the undercut comes. So when the undercut comes on the trade, so let's say, for example, 369 on the market, 369, doesn't sell. That seller may then relist that one for 359 or 349. And people are also watching, and the worst thing that can happen is people bid on them, and suddenly it becomes an issue that people don't list them. So that's something else you've got to think about. If someone bids at 354, no one's going to pick up that 369. They're going to see what happens with that 354. That's why I prefer it when people just list them as they are. You can buy via bid. It's a very effective way to trade. I promise you that now. Buying via bid is very, very effective. But just be mindful that's going to affect those ones selling moving on forwards, because people are going to look at that and go, well, he went for bid for 350. Why did I buy for 370? But yeah. When you're looking at ones that aren't selling and they're high, look for an undercut afterwards. Look and see. So let's say theoretically I'm watching that 369, it doesn't sell. I'm a hold back. I'm going to sit back and go, okay, cool, that didn't sell at 369. So what's next? 359. Does that sell? Okay, the 359 sold. I now know the sweet spot to buy today, if I want to buy today, is 360. Now I think about profit. If I know I can sell it roughly for 400k, the graph I just showed you earlier on Overmars City sells for about 390 to 400k on Weekend League. If I'm doing that, I'm like, well, okay, cool. So now I'm making 20k profit if I hold this player. Flip side of it is if I sell him now. If one's 340, I know I can sell him now for 360. If I sell him for 360, my profit on that is somewhere in the region of about 2 or 3k. You've got to be mindful of these things and think, okay, cool, when's best to buy? When's best to make my profit? This method is not for you if you don't want to put the graft in. I see many of you comment on on my videos, just like, oh, this is really long, oh, I can't be arsed. So don't do it then. Legit, don't do it. If you're the sort of person that wants easy bank, just try and do sniping. Just try and go and snipe some gold cards. This method ain't for you. If you get it right, this method makes you huge coins. There's other things you can do with icons as well. To get an idea of, one of the best things you can do in this, essentially, is if you go icons, to get an idea of what they're selling for as they come into the market. This isn't quite sniping, but it is essentially that. If you do basic as a chem style, you'll get to the 59th minute a lot quicker than you would do normally. Now, you've got to go all the way to here, and what you do is you just keep going to the end. Be mindful that you don't want to panic here. Don't just snap into buying it. Yeah, you've got time. But it's at 59 minutes, it's John Barnes, for example. You can compare the price with John Barnes. 310, 300. He's overpriced. 290. So you know that John Barnes at 359 is completely overpriced. And you can just keep checking through them, see what they're selling for. So Trezeguet here for 245, I think this one is. Slightly under whatever it is, but no profit there. But basic chem styles. And the reason why basics are effective is because a lot of time, they're relatively fresh. Look. Fresh. And fresh, I'd say, give you maybe 5% on top of the market rate. So let's say, for example, this Giggs. He's at 545. Someone's listed him based upon the fact that he's fresh. Some people don't realise that. So you might see it, sit there and go, okay, well, this one's, I don't know, maybe 10k after, underneath. Allow for that. So the 5% EA tax, for example, you can forget about that existing. Because fresh will sell for 5% more, from my experience. So fresh icons will sell for more. So you can go, okay, cool. These fresh ones here, what are they selling for? Where am I at? How do I pick them up? And on PlayStation, this method's even more effective. A lot more gets listed on PlayStation than it does on Xbox. But it's closer again, fresh. And fresh icons will always go up. Lumber Brothers too. So what this guy, someone has bought that and reflipped it, realising it's profitable. I don't know what they paid for it, but someone listed that close to too cheap, and they've now just been relisted. 2 owners, look at that. So be mindful, this guy's now reflipped this on because he's made profit on it. He's doing exactly what I've just said to do right there. So that's really good. Another way you can start looking at it again is if you want to get to the end quicker, Hunter and Shadow the same way you do it normally. But also, what I would say as well is if you've got, let's say your budget's 300k, just set your max buy now for 300k and just see what's there. I don't know why I was doing it that way, long-winded. But just see what's on the market at your price range. And see, okay, cool, this 87 Deco, I've seen people flip him quite a lot. Look at your price range and see what it is. Again, my advice to you of icon trading is look to the lower end of the market. I prefer trading to the lower end of the market than the higher end of the market. Number one, your risk is lower. Number two, you haven't got allowed, this is the dog that was just barking, by the way, both of them, walking back into the room. Your risk is lower. Also, they're more profitable because the tax is lower. So the lesser tax from EA means you're probably making more a card. I don't really buy icons unless they make me 15, 20k is what I'm looking for, 10k maybe. But it's a lot easier to make 15k by buying a smaller icon, I think, than buying a bigger icon because the bigger icons fluctuate so heavily in price. But yeah, so be mindful of that. Whatever you do, be mindful of how your budget's going to affect that and the risk that's involved in icon trading all day long. Next thing to think about. So you've built up in your head, you've got a pool of players you're basing your cards on. This is what your players are based upon. You've got your pool of players in terms of how the price fluctuates. Perfect, that's what you got. The next thing you need to think about is how much you've got to be on the market to monitor it. Because let's say, for example, you list your Overmars and think, right, I'm going to list this Overmars up and go away for a day. He might not sell. And then you've got all those coins tied up. If EA drop a promo and suddenly that price drops off and you go, okay, cool, I've got this Overmars, but oh crap. Now he's dropped off in price. You need to be on the market when you're selling these icons. You need to try and be there. The only time I'd say that's different to that, and from my experience, overnight selling is very effective. If you sell overnight, when the supply is lower, you tend to do better. And so that's what I'm saying. So during the day, I'd be listening for an hour at a time. Overnight, you might want to list for 6 hours, 12 hours. When you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning, check if they've sold. That's a good method. But always think about your method of selling. How am I going to best sell to best make my coins here? Okay, cool. I can sell right now in the evening, so I'm going to do it for 1 hour at a time. But if I'm going to bed, I'll list him for 12 hours. You might as well have him listed. There's no point in not having him listed. But listen for 12 hours, going to bed, see if he sells. But be mindful that things that EA do will affect the icon market massively. Other things you can do. If you like an icon, play with him. Buy him on a Monday. Play with him Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. List him on Thursday, Friday. When people buy their weekend league teams, that's when they tend to go up. So list them then. So you can play with them, use them if you want to. The only thing I'd say is if you get a pack fresh icon that you're trading with, don't use them. They're worth more when they're pack fresh. Don't play with them. Don't do anything. If it's a pack fresh icon, just use that icon. But summing it up, this is a basic icon style for you guys. First thing to do is get your pool of players that you want to trade with. Go and look at players you like trading with, look at the prices and get an idea of a pool. I'd start with 5, maybe move to 10, then 15. Once you've done that, look for how their prices fluctuate. Look for how they fluctuate during the day. Look for how they fluctuate during the week. Also look for how they fluctuated during promos. Did they drop down? Did they bounce back? Things like that. Get an idea of that in your head. Next thing to think about is how you're going to be buying them. So you can sit there and try and snipe. I think that's a waste of your time. If I were you, I'd be thinking, right, set it out for yourself that I want to buy it on this day because I know that's when they're cheap and I want to sell on this day. Have aims and goals in mind. Buy Monday, sell Friday. Buy Tuesday, sell Thursday, etc., etc., etc. You'll learn by making mistakes because you're going to make mistakes that will happen. Next thing to think about is once you've got that, think about selling technique. When am I going to sell? When am I best placed to sell? How am I going to sell? Have I got time to sit on the market for 4 times in a row to realist to make sure he sells? Do I want to sell overnight? Is that something that I want to do? How am I going to buy these players? Do I want to bid on them? Bidding's effective. Bidding's very, very effective. Just don't get bid happy. Just make sure you're bidding at the right prices. Do I want to look at, if I'm not bidding, do I look at basics? Or do I want to trade in just like maybe fresh icons because I know that market? And you'll build it up over time, and that is how you trade with icons. It takes a lot of work, but the rewards are very, very big if you get it right. Flip side of that is the problems and the detriments are very, very bad if you get it wrong. So just be mindful of that. Again, I maintain it. Mix that with other trading methods, like the silver method I've taught you, like special method that I was taught and I've taught you. Think about things like that. Mix it all up. Cover your losses in case of it. But the most important thing is don't try to own the whole market. Learn a few players. Learn their prices before you even get going. That's going to be the end of this video, lads. We will be bringing out an advanced one when I buy some icons on the market, show you how I'm doing it, how I'm trading with icons, and we'll go from there. But that's going to be the end of the video. If you are new around here, subscribe down below, like the video, drop a comment down below. But for now, lads, I'm out. Peace out. Speak to you soon.